Hi everyone, welcome back. It's me. This is going to be a video series, not too long, not sure how many parts it's going to be just yet because I'm about to cut it up and put it together now. But I just want to record this little clip off of my Telegram that I made August 27th, 2025. It is concerning what happened with Megan Rose and Elena DANAAN. And I just want to express it here because I don't know if I expressed it all the way I wanted to on the following video, but don't lose faith just yet. Let's just hear what I have to say here, and then we're going to get into it, okay? This video, again, is called Custodian Connections, all right? Here we go.
Hi there. So I'm very tired from yesterday. I hope you can hear me. Very quickly, the only reason why Elena DANAAN even started talking to Megan Rose is because she needed somebody on her team. She needed another young woman, pretty, with the same type of Galactic Federation agenda as she has, right? Power in numbers. But when Megan started to go off script, see, the thing about it is Elena DANAAN created Valnak, so he's not real. Just like Thorhan, and she'll say, oh, well, you can't see these beings. They'll never come and see you. You don't know them. They won't speak to you. Yes, because she's made them up. And the thing about it is that oh shit, I'm getting all befuddled. Okay, so she needed Megan. Megan started talking differently, right? She was this wife or girlfriend of Valnak, and Elena DANAAN is the wife girlfriend of Thorhan. So they both had extraterrestrial boyfriends. They were in this Galactic Federation thing, talking about the cabal, right? But then Megan Rose started to go with like Q and Trump and all of that, and it went off narrative completely to what the alliance of bullshitters like Alex Collier and Michael Sala and all those people have been pushing with the alien agenda, right? It goes off the rails. So in that message where I said she needs to recalibrate her route or she will be cut off, yes, only from the alliance of bullshit. She won't be invited to conferences where people buy tickets to see these people. That's what they mean by cut off. It has nothing to do with any kind of Galactic Federation or an Andromeda Council, because Alex Collier is a complete bullshit liar. Remember, Alex's real name is Ralph Amigos, okay? And he has criminal charges. So, yeah, they were in this bullshit alliance. Then they turned on Megan Rose, and Elena says now, I mean, as if you never knew that Valnak was gay the entire time. Why would you entertain someone like that, or even jeopardize it in any way when you're fully aware that Valnak is gay, right? So she tells everybody that this Valnak is gay, that Megan Rose has been compromised, she's not legit. Valnak left the galaxy and went to live somewheres with his gay partner, okay? This was totally wrecking, humiliating, and destroying her. You see, so it cuts off the fact that she's not married to an extraterrestrial, that she doesn't have an actual contact, and all of that. That was to destroy her so that she could, as she says, protecting her truth. What her truth is. It doesn't mean it's the truth. It's what's true for her personally, which they all know that they're in an alliance of bullshit. And they've been doing this for a really long time. So when they say she needs to recalibrate, that means that she would have to retract her statements, say something like, oh, I was temporarily taken over by a dark entity, but Alex Collier and Elena DANAAN saved me, or something like that, to kiss their asses, you see? There's another fella I'm going to go find, and he pathetically kisses the ass of Alex Collier so hard so that he can get in the conferences and be a secret space program person. I'm going to go find that fella because he makes this embarrassing, pathetic apology to Alex Collier just to get in the alliance of bullshit. So, and there's a bunch of people who have done this with other individuals, small groups, like little secret societies of bullshitters. So this is what's going on. They're only protecting their agendas, their stories, but most of all, everyone who listens to this, they are protecting their profit and income. They're protecting their book sales. They're protecting their reputation so that they don't lose money, so they can sell books. Remember, that was what Elena DANAAN said. She needs to sell books, and stories sell books. Sensationalism sells books. Exaggerated situations sells books, and flat out lies sells books. So this is what's going on. See, Elena DANAAN totally intended to have Megan Rose as an accomplice. You see, like a best friend with extraterrestrial husbands together. And I was actually excited at the time to see women getting together because it gave me hope for me, right? So I hope this brings this a little bit more clarity. I can do a video on this in detail later, but if anyone's truly interested in knowing, that's what it was. Thank you very much for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody.
Oh,
So I just made a post for what I saw.
so I
Hi
never
there.
actually found.
So I'm very tired from
Oh
yesterday.
my
I hope you can.
God! Shut up. Sorry. I never actually found that guy's apology. I couldn't remember his name, and I kept looking and looking. I never found that again. It's a shame because it would have backed up what I said. But listen, I'm not making anything up. I'm not exaggerating on anything. I've seen this stuff over the years. It wasn't that long ago. This was a middle-aged man. If I ever see him again, I will be sure to show you that, because it just shows you how they do this and get into these alliances of bullshit so that they can get in on the whole cosmic con and profit off of it. All right, so let's continue where I explain this and talk about further again with these custodian connections. Thank you for being here with me. I hope you enjoy this series. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. It's me. It is April 2nd, 2026 at 6:43 a.m. I hope you're well. Today, we are back doing a little bit of investigative work. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the situation with Megan Rose. We're going to circle back rather to this because we're not going to talk about her directly, but these people in the blue suits and the situation that went on with her and Elena DANAAN. To wrap that up, okay, I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but we're going to circle back at this at the end because I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my thoughts about the Galactic Federation itself. This morning, we're going to switch over here. This morning, I woke up and I heard in my mind, what was custodian again? And I said, well, it's a caretaker, a janitor, someone that cleans up the mess, right? Before in my book, I talked about if this is a prison planet, then they would be the prison wardens, the people responsible. So it says here, it says a custodian is a person responsible for protecting, caring for, or maintaining something, often a building or a property or a place, like Eden. Okay. This role can also refer to someone who has custody of a person or manages records and assets. Hi, Salem. How are you? You're all over my book, buddy? Here, just let me take that away. There you go. So if you scroll down a little bit, it says here, the meaning of custodian is one that guards or protects or maintains. I know, that's right, it is. Especially one entrusted with guarding or keeping property or records, or with custody or guardianship of prisoners or inmates. Okay? So, let me see. So, like, it would be a janitor. A custodian could be the janitor, cleaning up and taking care of the property. Yeah? Doing the yard work, cleaning, all of that. A keeper, a guardian. Okay? Now, the thing about it is, what's really weird is that years ago, when I was still unclear about things, and I mean, I'm still unclear, but not as unclear about myself and what's going on with me, I had this thing about the light dragon, and it was called Guardian, Gatekeeper. What was the other thing? Fuck, I forget now. But what is this called? Like, the self-realization process was like almost like the opening of a flower. So it took some time. But I used to see things differently, and that's what it reminds me of. A keeper. But not gatekeeper as in something that is held back, but when activated, opened. It opens a gateway. Like, seek and ye shall find the gateway. Like, this is the gate. Behind the lesser guardian, and that doesn't mean like less as in less value, or the lower guardian, that's the gateway to higher dimensional realms. Yes? So I found that to be a little strange. A guardian. But okay. Before I get ahead of myself, I talked about the prison inmates, prison planet thing, like how these would be our inmates. Ah, yes. So even in here, it talks about negotiating with these people would be like negotiating with your SS guards. I remember that. And yeah, probably they're quite strict. I think a lot of this, and I think something that we need to move away from, is that, as I was thinking about how I was going to tell you this, we need to stop trying to pin the tail on the evil donkey. Trying to find evil and name it. Because every time you name evil, it changes anyway. It'll change its face and become something else. But I really want people to think about this meaning. Okay? Because if you think about it, that's what this Federation is. They said they're caring for humanity. Yeah? There's links in this that I've noticed and observed. Now, this is just me going over my thoughts, theories, and feelings that I've had over these years, okay? I don't want to make any kind of accusations or blah, 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 blah. But these are the things that I've observed, and I can't ignore them. In fact, I woke up, this was the first thing, like, a custodian, what is that? It's a caretaker, blah, 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 blah. And then this is where we're at now. So, like I said, this will be connected to the video called The Longest Time. The reason why I called it that is because they've been in control for the longest time. Right? Yeah. So the Federation is basically a group of agreed upon peoples, whether they're ancient humans or interdimensionals, beings from other realms and stuff like this. Now, that's exactly how the Federation sounds. I've had minimal experience with these people in the blue suits, and this is only in the spiritual realms. I talk about this in my book. I've talked about this on the channel a lot, where, I've always noticed that they're doing a job. Like, they're working for something. And I suggested that the people in the blue suits, it almost seems like because I always called them the outer space police. I know that sounds funny. But they are kind of a police force or a military presence. I always called them the outer space police, but who do the police work for? Well, the government. Well, who is the government? Well, most likely, in this case, the custodians. Now, I think there's a misconception about the Anunnaki. There's a lot of people out there, and not just your regular average commenter on YouTube. I'm talking about scientists, archaeologists, that I've heard from. And they have, contested, challenged the translations of Zecharia Sitchin. Now you have to remember, there's this huge push on ignoring what? Salem, what's the matter, my boy? Is there an emergency? Did somebody fall down a well? I'm busy. What are we talking about? The Anunnaki. All right, Zecharia Sitchin. So a lot of people will say that they don't agree with his translations. I agree. Oh my goodness. You have to remember that there's this big push on ignoring the spirit. It's all about the physical aliens that came down. Okay? It's a big push on that. Everything about the materialistic realm. They're not about the spiritual unseen realms. They don't want you to focus on that. Now, crap. Here we are at the page of the Anunnaki. Sorry, I forgot to switch over. A lot of people, right, even if you click here on images, you get something like this, okay, especially with this bird figure. Now you got to remember, I translated this before. Wings symbolize higher dimensions, okay? This is a dimensional thing. They didn't actually fly. That's symbolic. The stuff on the walls of ancient Egypt is all spiritual symbolism as well. When you see the giant person with the little person sitting on its knees, this is your higher self or your subconscious and your conscious self, your lower self, your physical self and your spiritual self. The macro to the micro, to the very large, to the very small. That's what it's representing. A lot of people get this image like they were these giant peoples. They all looked like this, or like how Elena DANAAN describes that they had elongated skulls. But this, again, is symbolism. The big brain, see, I thought they were Anunnaki, but the big brain, I can't see myself, hold on. Just want to make sure. The big brain, this is represented by high intelligence, okay? And again, I researched this and found these these little artifacts here. Do you see? It's a person inside the mind, inside the mind. These are beings of the mind. And they've been represented like this for a long time. But that doesn't mean that they're physical and they actually look like that, because they don't. Now, let me go back to my page here. So, okay, so this is for Reddit. I don't want to, can I click it, see what happens? Okay, so this one here is how most people think the Anunnaki looked. Even in my book, I used this as an example. But I even said about the higher dimensional beings, the handbag, free energy, aether. It's not just knowledge. There's more than that in it. It represents knowledge. The pine cone is the pineal gland. Again, there is no alien implant. Your alien implant is literally your pineal gland, hence why he's holding the pine cone. No one has an alien implant. Not Elena DANAAN, not Megan Rose, not anybody. Okay? The alien implant is your pineal gland. This is how you communicate with the other realms and other beings out there in the unseen realm of other consciousnesses. Okay? It has nothing to do with being implanted. This is why in Elena DANAAN's book, she says, well, I have an implant, but it's in another dimension, so you can't see it. Ah, how convenient. It's because it's not real. This is all play on words and bullshit. Your pineal gland is your alien implant. That's your antenna and your communication device. Okay? All people have this. I mean, it depends on how decalcified it is and all that, how well you can use it. It's like you need to train it like a muscle, almost like a bodybuilder as well, right? You have to use it. All right, so where was I? Yeah, so this says the pineal gland is your inner mirror. It's your inner eye. It's how you're able to see. between the realms, between the physical and the spiritual realms and stuff like that. It says it's the gateway and your alien implant. It allows you to communicate with dimensional beings. I call my hair my antenna. Again, this is kind of like an extension. And the Vril ladies used to think that as well. I don't know what would happen if I cut my hair. I don't think that it would necessarily affect it. But it does help. I believe that. I truly feel that way. Okay, so let's continue. So, a lot of people think they look like this, but I don't think so. You have to remember, now, when we created the gods, like the Roman gods, the Greek gods, Jupiter, Zeus, Athena, Aphrodite, all this kind of stuff, right? We made them look like us. Now, what did the ancient Persians look like? Well, shit, they looked like this. So they made their gods look like them because this was the raising of their own consciousness. Egypt did the same thing. But the whole ancient aliens thing where aliens came down and all that, I don't know about that. I do believe that a lot of these ancient cultures, like I showed you in my Antediluvian series, had discovered interdimensional travel. This is why I talked about the liquid mercury at ancient sites and all this kind of stuff. Lodestones, which were natural magnets, which is the ingredients for electromagnetism workings, okay? So, and they most likely, very most likely discovered this stuff. It's really not as complicated as people make it seem because we're not traveling to outer space. We're going to the outer spaces. This is dimensional. Okay? So the Persians looked like this. So they made their gods look like them too. Also expressing their rays in consciousness. Talking about DNA, they were a lot smarter than we give them credit for. Okay? But these are the same beings of the 5D of the mind, like I was talking about. And they affected our civilization back then like they do today. It's the same ones. Okay? So they don't necessarily look like this. I mean, they could all look different. They could be all these different peoples that have agreed to do this certain job, being caretakers of Eden. Or, if you prefer, the prison wardens. It just depends on your perspective and how you see it. You know? Back when I was told about the Culling in 2017, in August of 2017, I felt their strong presence. Now, powerful doesn't mean evil, but I do realize, and I often wondered if that was a test, and I'm pretty sure I did well, because instead of continuing with the Culling, I tried my best, and still am, defining another way, an alternative to that. But the Culling is the same thing as the reset. So it all goes back to the same source. Mm-hmm. So these peoples of ancient Sumeria and the ancient Persians were expressing their knowledge and left it one way that they knew that would stay, so they could be remembered for their triumphs, just like we do now. It's just different, you know? Like I said, in that video I made about if we don't learn from history, we're doomed to repeat it. It's kind of happening the same way with these UFO disclosure people like Elena DANAAN. Okay? So, again, they most likely did not look like this. Okay? And the skull elongation is to symbolize intelligence. Higher levels of consciousness and intelligence. Alright? I think that people have taken certain ideas and stories and ran with them because it's profitable. Because the truth, like Stephen Cambion said, is boring, and this is way more interesting. Now, different things are going on in the unseen realms. But at this point, the sources that are relaying that are no longer trustworthy. In my opinion, I'm at the point where I want to hear from these peoples directly, like these higher society beings directly, like no more of this in between, because they've all gone pretty ridiculous. So again, they don't look like the depiction of Enki and all of that, like Elena DANAAN with these like reptile or like, it's kind of a little bit like this, but like more, I mean, of course, this is more cartoony, but she's taken it and given them like regular eyes, like this picture here. But again, this is a symbolism of a higher dimensional. You see, these are kind of like wings upon the head, which I have illustrated in that picture that's called the Light Dragon one, where it's like my superhero form. You can see that. Yeah, it's right here with the wings on the head. You see myself? You see the wings on the head? The wings are higher dimensional. It's not an angel. It's a representation of a higher dimensional. It says the Light Dragon, Nova, and we're going to talk about that too. It's not a program or anything like that. MK Ultra, whatever the fuck, okay? So again, they most likely don't look how people are depicting them, and they're a group of lots of individuals, just like you see on Star Trek. A whole bunch of individuals working for the Federation. But it's not exactly like that, okay? Now, some people even said this before about how Star Trek is, kind of like a military thing, like it's not necessarily as good as it seems, And I think this is where it connects, I think they want to give it maybe a different outlook, but there's still too much deception about it, All right, let's see. So we did the ancient Persians, we did the okay. So the Anunnaki, yeah, they don't look like that. Most likely that, like I was saying, like it's just like how here, this individual is with blue skin. Blue is symbolic for the spiritual realms. Okay, that's why a lot of those people in Hindu mythology, like the Krishna and all those gods, they're blue skinned, spiritual. It doesn't have to do with aliens. They're from the spirit realms, spiritual hierarchies and such. Well, that's what the blue skin represents. Okay? So the custodians are most likely the Federation. It's all connected. This is why Elena DANAAN's talking about the Anunnaki and this and that. Not only does she want to dominate the entirety of the thing, wants to be the one and the only one. Clearly, her ego's a problem. But this, again, connects to this alien lover thing, which Elena DANAAN has, and Megan Rose. So we're going to go over here, and I'm going to talk about this for a minute, I think. Just give me a moment to see if I've forgotten anything. Custodians, Anunnaki, caretakers, similarities between the Galactic Federation, Star Trek, the higher society. Okay. Well, let's just discuss about what happened between Megan Rose and Elena DANAAN. So her website's all kinds of messed up now, but thankfully for the Wayback Machine, it has been saved here. So This this captures from August 23rd, 2024. Unfortunately, something that I was going to show you, she had just taken down. Like, I looked at it, and then the day after it was down. Unfortunately, I didn't get it recorded. Hopefully, she's changing, but it probably just is changing again to try to dominate everything and over everyone. But let's hope she's changing her ways for the better. So if you don't know about this, back in 2022, I made a video about this on my channel a few years ago. It's still up. Elena had met this girl, Megan, somehow. It says here in this article that they had met maybe on a forum, or I can't remember, but let me go over the story real quick. So they had met, they started doing videos together. Elena helped Megan Rose put out a book. It was like, it seemed to me at first like unity, but it ended up being a power in numbers type of thing. Two pretty women speaking about the same thing, both of them with these extraterrestrial boyfriends that just happened to be best friends, and these two were like becoming best friends or whatever. Right? Then, this is me observing it. So then, all of a sudden, after a little while, Megan starts talking about like Trump and Q and black goo and all this other stuff that was different from the narrative of the Federation, Galactic, blah, 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 with like Alex Collier and Elena and all this that Megan had been brought into. So then when this started happening, it started to jeopardize the whole narrative, right? They couldn't get Megan in line and then excommunicated her from the community. Okay, it's not funny. It's so ridiculous, okay? So the thing is that Valnek is a creation by Elena DANAAN. It doesn't matter if she say it's a contact, blah, blah, blah. She stated so many times that these people would never be coming to see you. She said this publicly, that Thorhan, if you ever get contact from somebody called Thorhan or anybody else that I know, it's not them. Because that's not possible, because they're people from within her. Okay? They're basically aspects of herself. And the male aspect is highly dominant, like maybe a father figure, maybe a husband type of thing. This role clearly hasn't been fulfilled. So something inside of her has stepped forward in the form of this Thorhan. There may be more to it than that, because entities know you better than you know yourself, especially these ones, these type of the mind, these 5D. They can see into you. They know your hopes, your dreams, your wants, your likes, your dislikes, and they'll become everything that you ever thought you wanted and needed. Even, it's just an illusion though. It's not real. So she made these up. She stated herself they can't be seen by anybody else but her. But then brings this girl in who claims to be married to Valnek. Even in this article here, she says Elena knew that Valnek was married. I think it was to a guy. It doesn't say that in here, but she said, I remember it was in large, a Telosian male called Mirak or whatever. I'll never forget that. I'm like, holy shit, he's gay too? Yeah. So she knew that the entire time, but still help this girl with her book, knowing that this fellow was married and with somebody else. It makes absolutely no sense. This is a good story. Yesterday, I can't remember what I was watching, but it says a good story is the best weapon you could ever have. And I thought, yeah, you're fucking right on that. Because look what this has done. Not just this about Megan Rose, but the whole thing about focusing on physical outer space aliens from Mars. They're getting you away from the spirit in disguise of, oh, consciousness and awakening. It's totally bizarre. So she made up this character, allows Megan Rose to do this, and now she's saying she's infringing on her copyrights. Okay, I can post this link down below so you can read this yourself. You're right. Okay, let me just read it. To end the divisive agenda that splits the disclosure community. I mean, Elena had a page. Who was on it? Bashar, Daryl Anka, that's Bashar, Geraldine, something or other, Lily Nova, Elizabeth April, Dolores Cannon, some other girl I can't remember, and they were all enemies and gray hybridization program people. Now this Megan Rose, her implant has been compromised. There's no fucking implant though. So how can it be compromised? You're right. Oh, I'm sorry. Here is the real story from my childhood friend. Valorian Neek Aurorin. Yeah, okay. She's really creative. From Ellipsion. Never mind. It's in Sailor Moon too. This is such nonsense. Eridani or whatever. Otherwise known as Valnek. I first mentioned him in my 2020 book, A Gift from the Stars. Nobody knew about him before. His name was used for deception purpose when in 2021, a young YouTuber who read my book and infringed my copyrights by using the character of Valnek to create misleading content on YouTube and Patreon. I don't believe that. Just from Megan's energy alone, she really believed this was Valnek and this was her thing, and that was what this wasn't a ruse. So if that wasn't Valnek, and Elena even goes on to say, oh, it must be something else, well, you completely abandoned her. Oh, I tried to help her. No, you fucking didn't. You wrecked her and you embarrassed her saying her contact was gay. This is not a game as she tries to make it look. No, you're making it a game, Elena. This is a serious issue. You're right, it is. This person keeps on using the names of my genuine contacts and misleading thousands of people with conflicting information. Well, then why haven't you sued her? Like, I don't want harm for Megan, but if she is really doing this, why haven't you sued her then? If it's your intellectual property, right? I guess you don't want to pull a Corey Good? Because that will expose you quite a bit, huh? She is not in contact with the real Valnek nor the Galactic Federation of Worlds. No, because it's made up. She's not part of your narrative. It's right. Here is the real story below in an article from January 2022. So she has these pictures here that she drew of this fella. She created this. Again, it's my intellectual property. Remember Corey Good? This is the same thing. So, because you know what? If you're all about caring about humanity and doing the right thing and raising, why would you ever do this to this girl? And Elena DANAAN manipulates many people. I think Tony Rodriguez, I think Alex Collier too. She's controlling this in a certain way. She wants to dominate. I've done 31 psychic predictions and have been the right blah, 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 blah. This is fucking mental. I have been retaining this information nearly 3 months now, patiently keeping silent. In my desire not to feed the dividing narrative agenda that infiltrated our truther community. You're not telling the truth. You've made up stories to sell books. More than ever, I wish to insist on the important point. We need to stay united and stop attacking each other. Girl, this shit fucked up my life. And I have every right to speak on it. What you guys are doing is embarrassing. I can't even believe that the spiritual realms are allowing this nonsense. It's making things 10,000 times harder for other people who don't want to lie and make up stories. Who cares if people think the truth is boring? It's the truth. And it's a gift, a real gift for everyone. It was stuff like this that made me trust these beings that she says, oh, I speak for them. I don't trust them anymore at all. Less and less and less and less. Because of these people that they choose to represent them. What the hell? I would never vote for her to be ambassador or emissary. I don't think anybody else either, unless they're out of their fucking mind. And I'm not saying vote for me. Anyway, she acts like she's been the victim, Elena. Acts like she's the victim in this and somehow. But she's not. She did this purposely. She knew. Power in numbers, 2 pretty women. It was her actual plan. I have not seen any evidence of Megan Rose wanting to be Elena DANAAN. And this is what she states in here. Of course, Megan, okay, it says, I received from genuine people worried about her 2 months absence from social media. Of course she left social media. You devastated her. So yeah, and then Alex Collier gets involved. And what does he say? Oh, if she doesn't get in line, she'll be cut off. And listen, when they realized that she was no longer going to be good with their narrative, they had to get rid of her before she ruined it. And so what's the one way to do it than to say her contact's actually gay, not actually real, he's gone, left the galaxy. Okay. Alex Collier says here, she needs to recalibrate her route or she will be cut off. Yeah, cut off from their alliance, cut off from the profit and this whole thing that they've got going for them. So she's not going to be in on it. She won't be selling books and going to conferences, and they cut her right off. There is no Morane or whatever. These beings don't exist. That's just Alex Collier. Nobody told Alex Collier. No, Alex was like, no, we need to get rid of her before she ruins our narrative, our story, our most powerful weapon of control. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of nonsense. Here she accuses her of being a Trojan horse, technology mind programmings. Oh, they're all programmed. She's only a victim. She wasn't trying to destroy you, Elena. The girl had something that she believed in, just like you. The whole relationship thing, I mean, some people will do anything to get that. This dream relationship. I'm telling you, it can be really strong. Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't have to be an alien. Sometimes it can be done through that twin flame thing. So I do know. But Megan never tried to be you, Elena. And here it says she will keep trying to grow her popularity in any way possible, spreading more lies, playing victim. Megan never played victim. I watched her video she made, and she handled that like a champion. I'm sitting there fucking crying, and the girl's not crying. She didn't play victim. She was blindsided and flabbergasted it fucking happened. This is awful. This was really awful that this happened. So there is no Thor-Han annex. All of this is story tales. This is fairy tales. This is stuff she made up. It may be what's going on with her, but listen, this is a fucking mess. And Elisa Herrera and all those people don't stand behind you anymore, I'm pretty sure, girl. Listen, this was too much. Dr. Sala doesn't. And there's a reason why. I really think that Elena thinks that she's going to be the one to negotiate with these people. Like, that's what they're looking for. So she's trying to be the one, no matter if it's the CIA looking or whoever. That's what she thinks she's going to do. You're not fit. I would never vote for her or any of them. But that's what she did. She thought she'd have power in numbers with two beautiful women with best friend boyfriends. And when it didn't work out for her, she had to create something to destroy it. She created it, now she has to destroy it. Yeah. So that whole time you helped that girl write her whole fucking book, you didn't think to go, oh, by the way, you know Valnek is married, eh? And he's gay? Okay. So again, even if I have to copy and paste all of this, yeah, see, look, the 9, Elena says she received a message from the 9. Well, the Council of 9, I found is in Rudolf Steiner's workings. It's not an actual council, it's part of the spiritual hierarchy, and they are definitely not fucking aliens. Showing me black goo, which we've gone over before on this channel. That's the same thing with Sarah Adams. Yeah. Well, Danny Henderson's not your friend anymore because you fucked her over somehow. She was fucking mad. Whatever you did. That's why when I call Elena DANAAN a bitch, I fucking mean it. She is one. And I don't care. She's over there on Playing Victim on her channel. Oh, your emotions are your own. You know, no. No. When you have psychologically and mentally and emotionally affected people the way that you have with this shit, this was very serious for me my entire life. I wasn't into making up no fucking stories to sell no books. I'm sorry about my English. I'm getting upset. So it's not just this. This has happened between many people that John Claude, what's his fella? I had another page that was brought up on the Wayback Machine, and it was where she had him advertised all over her website as well. Again, when it works for her, she will go along with it. When it doesn't, you are cut off and excommunicated out of the narrative, right? If you don't go along with that, I say that Thor-Han did this and not you, then you're out. And that's why she does this to people. She'll say, oh no, Thor-Han did that. So this is definitely seriously concerning, if not dangerous. This is a dangerous game she's playing. Now, if we go back here, as in a year ago for videos, Megan's still talking about, look, they're holding hands. This is a relationship. Yeah, they'll get you. They'll get you hooked right in the heart. They told me in the spirit realm that the whole twin flame, like that love thing, was the devil's greatest weapon against me. That's the way they worded it. Not literal, but like evil's greatest weapon against me. And they use it against, it doesn't mean you're weak. Everybody wants love like this. That's how they do it. Again, in the blue suits. So if that isn't, she's not just messing around. She actually thinks that this is what this is. So this is not Valnak. It's one of them. And Thorhan most likely is too. They're very intelligent. Yeah. So they can make things seem in a whole other way than what they are. Play on words and all this bullshit. They're very, very smart beings of the mind. And you know what? Like, Megan's always been thin. But where was that picture? Look, she's really fucking skinny here. At least her neck and everything. Like, is she okay? I don't know. These things will drain you dry. I mean, I stress myself out so much, and I wish that I had never even heard of any of this now, because it's such nonsense and it's so ridiculous and it's fucking embarrassing now. You know? Oh, I keep getting flashes in my head about Emery Smith sitting there with those two women in those rented costumes, or maybe they bought them from the friggin' Halloween store, and he's in that military fake oh my god. He didn't even iron it. It's disturbing to me. Like, they talk about being heroes, and they talk about all this stuff, and this is not what they are. Even Claudio, the way that he writes, I'm so tired of hearing stories. I don't care if you're using them as weapons or whatever. I don't care anymore. I'm so sick of it. So, like, she's still with this Valnak thing, even though it's not as common. Hopefully, this is breaking its hold, because as of recent, it seems to be changing. But she is coming back. She has a video on her homepage, this one, Creative Consciousness, 3 days ago. So she's still doing it. But and I mean, like, hang on. See, it's right here. So she put it on her thing, and now talk about the, oh my god, this fucking Iran war and all this. Oh my god. Okay. Well, whatever. Talking about anything that's popular, I suppose. Yeah. So, I don't know. If it was such an infringement copyright, then, because her book is still on Amazon. I checked. You can still go buy Megan Rose's book with the Valnak on Amazon. So it was such an infringement. I'm telling you, she doesn't do it because she'll have to claim why it's copyrighted, because she created it, just like Corey Good did. And I don't think she's willing to do that and sacrifice her entire thing. But if it was such a problem, right? Like how she talked about in here in 2022, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, in 5 years, then you haven't taken legal action against this young lady for her copyright infringement? Wonder why. I wonder why. So, I don't know. Let me just finish off by getting this over with, because I don't want to talk about this anymore. I keep saying that, but this shit's fucking done something to me, so I need to get it out of me, and then hopefully it will leave me alone. So all those people that I mentioned, Geraldine, Daryl Anka, Lily Nova, Elizabeth April, Dolores Cannon. Now, we know that Dolores Cannon talked about the custodians, but she talks about them again as in caretakers of Eden. Different perspective. No, I don't believe or feel at all that they were part of any kind of anti-agenda in any way. Dolores Cannon's work helped a lot of people over the years with their consciousness and their whole awakening process. Um, she wasn't part of any type of dark agenda. Either is Daryl Anka. And I tried to make a video talking about this the other day, but it didn't go so well. I might keep it. I don't know. But I talked about that where Bashar is just basically, oh crap, I meant to share this tab instead. Okay, anyway, Bashar is basically just that's another part of Daryl Anko's consciousness, like his higher self. This is the part of him where we all have this, like where we can access information that's within all of us. Now, I know that's not an alien because I remember I used to watch him years and years ago. Remember, this started for me in 2010. So I used to watch him years ago, and I remember watching one little talk he had where he had people coming up and asking questions. And if this really was an extraterrestrial, they should be able to even be a little bit psychic and telepathic as a higher conscious being. I don't know. Just this whole situation was like this girl was like, "Oh, do you know me?" Blah blah blah, and he didn't deal with it. Definitely not the way I would have, especially because I would never be pretending to speak for an alien. But he ended up humiliating this girl. She's quite embarrassed. He tried to play it well, and people laughed and stuff. But it was this moment where I was like, that's not an alien. That's not a being of higher consciousness. That's him. So that's a part of Daryl himself. Would people have gone to listen to him and sit there and listen to just this guy called Daryl? No. They went to listen because it's an alien. That was the incentive, right? So no, he's not part of any gray hybrid agenda, whatever, just because his little friend he claims to be a small being from whatever kind of bluish, I don't know, looks a little bit like a gray, not really, but yeah, no, that's just a creation. I mean, this may be something involved with his spiritual life, but that's definitely just a part of him. It's not another being. I didn't check who Lily Nova is, but I did look over Elizabeth April a tiny bit. She reminds me of Sarah Adams in that same energetic sense. It seems like she's telling sensationalized stories. She might drop some truths here and there, but she gets your attention by saying, oh yeah, I dated a reptilian alien. So, like I said, I don't know who Lily Nova is. We can take a look right now if you want. Hold on. I just don't want to know any more of these people. I don't want to know anymore. But which one is she? Oh. She kind of looks like Megan Rose. Ah, right. So nova is another word for star or sun. Um, hmm. But that only happens in the training parts with me. So yeah, they said it, but I don't. That might have been a test as well the other night with the purple lightning wizard. Okay. Oh, you can't even fucking see it. Sorry. Here, hold on. Here we go. Here she is. See? I don't know. Anybody that actually claims to be psychic, that's a red flag. See what it says here. Okay. You can video me during lockdowns. How long has she been around for? 2021. It seems like repeats. Copy and repeat. Everyone has access to develop supernatural abilities. I don't know. Maybe in some way, it's everybody doing their best at first and then just. I don't know anymore. Oh, look, she's talking about Three Eye Atlas. What a fucking surprise. Oh, boy. Set. Isn't that. Oh, no, the lion guy. Oh, there's nothing unique here. Oh, look, the people in the blue suits with the Sasquatch. I told you, it's because of the interdimensional thing, you know? How to cloak and dematerialize. Right. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to get any copyright strikes. These people are wild as hell. Yeah, you guys, it just seems like the same thing over and over again. Elizabeth April. See, I tried to find anything if they worked together at one time because of the Galactic Federation thing. Oh my god, anybody who does this stupid ass Mr. Beast, click my video! Red flag. Oh god. Oh. Yeah, no. Oh, predictions. Oh, she's a remote viewer. Does she claim to be a psychic? Let's go see what she calls herself. Oh, Jesus, Murphy, help us. Remote viewer. Yeah, okay. No, you're definitely not. I'm a remote viewer dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. Channeling the Galactic Federation. No, you don't. Unless it's the Custodians and they're fucking with us. And I mean, like, all these people are bringing in big money for YouTube, right? Like, she has almost 500,000 subscribers. I think she might have more than Elena DANAAN. That must sting. Now, if you don't know who Geraldine is, Geraldine or Zorro, I remember listening to her story and she seemed very genuine in her encounter. Now, even if it is in Geraldine, or there it is. There she is. There she is right there. I'm gonna go here so her video doesn't play. Yeah, I remember hearing her stories about that, and she was part of what seemed to be a hybrid program. Oh, the mystery school, eh? Mm-hmm. All these people know about the esoteric religion thing. I know they fucking do. It's like Matthias DiStefano with initiation. Oh. Black goo. There it is again. The initiation of period 9. Well, I did get my period at 9, and that's when my initiation began. Are you playing on words? My life path number is 9 too. That's why it's Nova 9. See what I mean, though? It's kind of the same thing over and over. Elena DANAAN's no different than them. She's just playing on Galactic Federation, her creation. So, interdimensional alchemy, huh? But I remember her talking about having, it was, what's this? She didn't want to do it. It was non-consensual. But they were breeding her with hybrids. And it makes me think about the fact that some of them can temporarily come into our physical space and procreate with us, just like the whole story about like the fallen angels and all that, like that. So I don't know. Maybe everybody's just doing their own little twist on it, sell some books and start a course and all that. I don't know. But I think that everyone's pretty much the same. They're not in any gray hybrid program like anti-agenda. And yeah, she had this girl on this page too, as well as the other people. Lily Nova, Elizabeth April, Bashar, Daryl Anka, rather. Not in any gray hybrid program like anti-agenda. And yeah, she had this girl on this page too, as well as the other people. Lily Nova, Elizabeth April, Bashar, Daryl Anka, rather. Naming all these people the enemy. But I don't see any difference of any of them now. Lucid dreaming, hey? Training level 1 class follow-up. Selling classes. I see. Well, there you have it. I mean, I remember this one. I remember hearing her story. It seemed genuine. Did she have it 100% figured out? No. Do any of us? No. But, I do remember her. But no, do I think Daryl Anka or any of these people are in cahoots with some gray hybrid agenda nonsense that Elena makes up? No. So, there you have it. Okay, somebody asked me about Elizabeth April the other day, and that's when I went to go check. I wrote it on Telegram, but then the day after, I shouldn't have said anything. The day after, Elena DANAAN took her website down, and so that's why I had to go to the Wayback Machine, as you can see here. Because now when you put in Elizabeth April's name or any of those people's names, nothing comes up. So she must be wiping it. Which I said, I am hoping that maybe she's changing her ways. But just because you delete it, like, are you going to make an apology to all those people? Because guaranteed, all those people that were on her website know that they were there. They probably know. Someone told them, hey, oh my God, Elena DANAAN's talking shit about you on her website. They probably all saw it.